Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and this is part of the Garibay RPG series, and I'm talking about the D&D Next Player's Handbook. This is the most important book that's being written today. One of the reasons for that is it has a lot to teach us, many people in different communities. So essentially the lesson here is who has real power now, fans or creators? This used to be a very simple question. Fans had more power. If creators didn't give them what they wanted, a property would die on the vine. So I think that things have recently changed, and there's a very strong cautionary tale out there right now. So let's get into it. So D&D 3.5 came out, very successful game. D&D 4.0 came out, not successful. D&D players did not buy it. Generally, very few did. And so basically, fans said, this game's for 13-year-olds. I'm 33 or I'm 43 now. Most of the D&D fans were. And this is targeted at a young crowd, and I'm older now, and I don't like that. They said it has video game elements in it, and I don't like that. I want the game to be distinct from video games. So Wizards of the Coast absolutely put in a lot of video game elements in it, and so one of the things that this created was it created an opportunity for Paizo, who created the Pathfinder role-playing game. A lot of people call Pathfinder D&D 3.75, and it's a very apropos title. Pathfinder is a fantastic role-playing game. It is the art was better than 3.5, the writing was better than 3.5, the rules was better than 3.5, but let's not get it twisted. It was a copy. It was a derivative. So Paizo was standing on the shoulder of giants when they made that game. And so, while I love that game, I don't give them credit for really just making making a copy. No, it's not an original source. So, and so the original source is Dungeons and Dragons. So 4.0 was a misstep on the part of Wizards of the Coast, according to most fans, right? And fans spoke with their mouths and they spoke with their wallets. They said, "We don't like this game, and we are definitely not going to buy it," right? Okay, and they took their money over to Paizo and the Pathfinder role-playing game. So who had the power there, fans or creators? Clearly, the fans had power. Wizards of the Coast was forced to create for 5th edition, which they're working on right now, D&D Next. So the answer is pretty clear. So where's the cautionary tale? The cautionary tale is another property called Star Wars. So Star Wars came out in '77, 4 years after Dungeons and Dragons. And George Lucas brought forward the greatest science fiction movie trilogy ever created, and fans thought it was great. And then in the '90s, he returned and he brought the prequels, episodes 1, 2, and 3. And fans said, "We don't like episodes 1, 2, and 3." Now I think it's interesting, and then they said that, and if you walked into a Star Wars convention at that time, the same's true today, and you spun around and threw a rock, you were going to hit a fan who would say, "I don't like episode 1, 2, and 3. I don't like how it was targeted at a younger audience. I don't like Jar Jar Binks. It's not like the first trilogy. It's not what I liked when I was 13 rather than 33 or 43 when the older ones came out." So the parallels are pretty strong, but the end story is not the same. So there, fans said with their mouths, they said, "We don't like episode 1, 2, and 3." They were extremely vocal, and most fans were very vocal. They did not like episode 1, 2, and 3. They didn't do the same thing with their wallets. They said, "I don't like episode 1, 2, and 3. Here's my $10. They said, "I don't like episode 1. Here's my $10 for the movie. I don't like episode 2. Here's my $10 for the movie. I don't like episode 3. Here's my $10 for the movie. I don't like episode 1, 2, and 3. Here's money for action figures. I don't like episode 1, 2, and 3. Here's money for video games." So it was interesting. There was two messages coming from the fan base, because you just cannot pretend that the billions of dollars that series made came from all the people who did like it, who you'll be hard pressed to find, frankly. So now I was one of the fans. I really enjoyed those. So the cautionary tale is we really, as fans, really need to be very careful about what's happening. And the reason why is, who had the power there? George Lucas. He cashed out for $4 billion, took the Star Wars property, and sold it lock, stock, and barrel to Disney. I will not get to see his son or his daughter direct the next Star Wars trilogy. The Star Wars trilogy, the Star Wars movies are now outside of the hands of the Lucas family, and I think that's sad. I really don't think for a second that Disney is going to do a better job than the Lucases would. I think George Lucas and his family truly poured their heart and soul into both trilogies, and I'm very thankful for him for everything he did. And I think it's very sad, and I think we as fans did him a disservice by not. I think the fans who said, I don't like episode 1, 2, and 3 really did him a disservice. They forgot what he did originally, and those were great movies. And I think, we as fans need to realize, if somebody brings something good forward, if somebody brings something great forward, we shouldn't punish them because it wasn't penultimate. And I think people were really kind of owed George Lucas a lot more than what they gave him from the response for 1, 2, and 3. And I think he legitimately was very hurt by how the fans felt about it and just washed his hands of it and cashed out for $4 billion. So there, the lesson is that the real power now has shifted, and creators have an incredible amount of power over the properties. Look what's happening right now with J.K. Rowling. She's saying, hey, I wrote my books. Fans want more books. Guess what? You're going to get books about crime in London, and you're going to get books about other mysteries, and I'm not going to write any more Harry Potter. She controls that property. Doesn't matter what the fans want. So basically, I think there's been a big shift, and creators have more power now. And so we as D&D fans, and I think other communities as well, fan communities, need to realize they need to be thankful to creators and be respectful and give credit where credit's due for good work and great work. And not say, if it isn't penultimate every single time, if you don't hit a home run every swing of the bat, we're going to desert you. And so I think Star Wars fans very well may learn the lesson of this. And I think when D&D next comes out, we need to be thankful to Gary Gygax. We need to be thankful to all the people who created Dungeons & Dragons Edition 1, Edition 2, Edition 3, Edition 4, and need to really realize how much joy they've given us over these years and be respectful of what they bring forward, and receive the game with an open mind, and maybe continue to play it if we don't like every single thing about it. And I certainly intend to. I bought every single edition of Dungeons & Dragons, D&D Edition 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I have my cash in hand. I'm ready to buy Dungeons & Dragons 5.0, and I'm ready to have an open heart and an open mind about the project. And I am rooting for these guys to do it right. And it's really interesting. That's going to see what's happening. So thank you. Take care.